So this webinar is titled Managing Lead Sharing Group with ChamberForge. My name is Song Bae, and just a little bit about my background. I created ChamberForge in 2017. I was started a lead sharing group at a local chamber, and I was using kind of like an Excel spreadsheet to track all the information about members, guests, and referrals. And after about 5 or 6 months, it just turned out to be too much for me. So I started working on, creating a tool for myself. Started working on it since August, September last year, and now it has turned into a ChamberForge, which a number of chambers of commerce are using for their lead sharing group. So ChamberForge is an application that I've been working on for about a year or so. My title, I have a digital marketing business here in Northern Virginia. I work as a developer. Have about 15 plus years of development experience. So that's a little bit of my background. And here's the agenda for today's webinar. First, we're going to talk about kind of like an overview of lead sharing group and how ChamberForge can help lead sharing groups. And then the second part, we're going to take a deep dive into the ChamberForge Web Application and kind of go through like tracking attendance, tracking referrals, and managing members, and how you can do those things on ChamberForge. Okay, so here's what I put together as what the like kind of like the lead sharing groups, how they're conducting lead sharing meetings today. So when you look at a typical lead sharing group, they're getting together, they form a group, and then the first step is really getting to know each other, right? So they have like one-to-one meetings. They have, they give presentations to each other, so that everyone knows who you are, what you do, and what you do well. The next step, when everyone's kind of got to know each other and comfortable about referring each other's business to outside the group to their own network, the group starts sharing referrals with each other. So that I see is like kind of the second step in a lead sharing group. And then, you mentioned, Katie, that you have about 10 people starting out, but eventually you may want, all the groups, they want to grow their groups, invite new members and guests to make 20 or 30 people. I've seen lead sharing groups as big as 40 people here in Northern Virginia. And yes, so this is how kind of lead sharing groups operates these days. Now, in addition to that, when I see successful lead sharing groups, these are not only things they do. They make sure that the members engage each other, right? They make sure that, especially the group leader, make sure that everyone has, have one-to-one meetings, and then the group leader also has to make sure that everyone's committed to the group. So without these attributes in a group, really, engaged, committed, members being accountable with each other. If I'm giving 3 referrals to the group, at some point I also expect to receive some referrals from the group. So I want some accountability to be there in the group. Shared understanding and collective effort, right? We're coming together as a group, and we're all doing this as a team, right? So having that shared understanding is very important. And then marketing the group. The group that I mentioned, 30, 40 members that are doing really well in terms of referring businesses to each other. The word has, word spread that, this group passes so many referrals to each other, and everyone wants to, join that group. and the seats are very limited. So, marketing your group to outside the group is very important too. Now, as a group leader of a group, it's really hard to track that, are my members engaging each other, right? Are they having one-to-one meetings? Also, some of the questions they have are, in addition to members being engaged, are they passing referrals to each other, right? Or what about, are they passing high-quality referrals? Like what percentage of referrals that our members pass to each other actually turn into business, or what percentage, are actually lost, right? So these things, it's really hard to track at the moment with just like Excel spreadsheet, or, I've seen many groups not tracking this at all because there's not a great tool to help them track these types of metrics. Also, the group leaders are always thinking about how do I grow the group? How do I invite more members? How do I invite more guests to the group? And then how do I turn the guests into members, right? So these are the questions that group leader is always thinking about. Now, when it comes to ChamberForge, we added, in addition to those 3 phases, we added one more phase. It's called the Gather Insights. And because all that information, attendance, referrals, and referrals turning into business close, all that information is stored in a database, and you can generate different types of reports and gather insights from the data that's collected. Right. So in this phase, getting to know one another, being engaged, we can track, are the members having one-to-one meetings? So this is from the group leader's perspective, and also at the chamber level as well. If you have like multiple groups in your group, you can track, if the members in each group, they're having one-to-one meetings. We can track attendance. Are the members really committed to this group? Are they really passing referrals to each other? And are the referrals turning into business for them? So these things are you can track as a group leader and as a chamber staff member as well. Also, in terms of recruiting new members, ChamberForge can be a CRM tool for managing members and guest information. So one of the ways to grow a lead sharing group is to invite guests into your group. Have them come to your meeting once or twice for free, just to fill out the group, how the group is doing, and then the ChamberForge provides a place to store all the guest information into a centralized place. So with that information, you can send out a mass email to all the guests. You can send out automated emails to guests. So such as when you invite a guest to, let's say, next week's meeting, guests can receive automated reminder email one day before the meeting about the meeting location, meeting time, things like that. And then gathering insights, generating reports, doing some getting some data-driven insights from the data that's collected. Are there any questions? Let me just stop here and see if anybody has any questions.
No question. I think we're good.
Yeah, all right. So this here on the left-hand side shows types of data that can be tracked inside the ChamberForge. So members information, guest information, referrals, one-to-ones, business closed and lost, attendances, and files and documents. Any business cards scanned or meeting minutes, things like that, you can upload to the ChamberForge and make it available to all the members through their mobile app. So all this information goes into ChamberForge through the web application as well as the mobile application.
Mm-hmm.
And then once all the data is collected, you can generate reports. You can archive the data. So let's say, for example, there's a member who left the group, right? You can delete the member from the group, but then that information is always there, even 1 year later or a couple of years later. So when the leadership changes, which often happens in these lead sharing groups after 1 or 2 years, all the information, all the past members' information, referrals, guest information is all in one place, right? So ChamberForge helps with the continuity of business. And then, as I mentioned in the previous slide, you can use ChamberForge to reach out to the guest for communications and engagement. So these are some of the things that you can do with the ChamberForge. So here, just screenshots of the ChamberForge Web Application and the mobile application. So now we'll jump over to the ChamberForge.com. Today we're going to go through the website. The mobile application is more for group members to report out referrals and one-to-one meetings. But as a group leader managing a lead sharing group, you'll be spending more time actually on the website because some of the features such as generating reports is only done on the website. So we'll go to ChamberForge.com and then kind of briefly walk through what a group leader would do, creating a group, adding members, updating attendances, adding guests, adding referrals and one-to-ones, and generating reports. So to use the ChamberForge Web Application, you can go to ChamberForge.com and then just click on sign in on the top, right? This takes you to the ChamberForge application, so you see that the URL changed to app.chamberforge.com. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to log in with the test account and test information that I created.
Can you give that to us so we can follow along on our laptop as well, just so we can see what you're... I know you've got it on the screen, but can you give us a test login?
Oh, I haven't had a chance to create a test login for you guys yet. Okay. But what I can do is after this meeting, I can create an account for your chamber.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep. So once you log in, you can see different groups in your chamber. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new group. All right. Let's call this lead sharing group 3 or something. And then you can put some description in here. Meets on every second and fourth Thursday at 2 p.m. All right. So just add some description, the type. You can choose lead sharing group. So ChamberForge can also be used by committees. Like if you have ambassador committee or different types of groups in your chamber, you can create a group here and then manage members, guests, attendance, things like that. So I'm going to create a lead sharing group. Image, you can upload a group image in here. Visibility, I'm going to set this private. If you make it public, that means that anybody in your chamber organization who has an account on ChamberForge but does not belong to any group, if your group is set to public, then that group will be public to those members. If you set it to private, then your group will be only visible by members of that group.
Okay.
Data entry mode. This is the, so we provide two data entry modes. Centralized is where the group leader collects all the information about the referrals and attendances, and then the group leader inputs all that information into the ChamberForge. Distributed is where all the members in the group, they install mobile app on their phone and put in information themselves. So this is what we recommend, distributed, and this is what the Loudoun County Chamber of Commerce is, that's how they're using it. All the members have installed it on their phone, and then they're reporting all the information themselves. So I'm going to hit save. So it says successfully created new group. So now, if I go back to the very first screen, I can see that this lead sharing group 3 has been created. So when members log in, members of this group log in, they may not necessarily see all these other groups, but they'll just see this one group, right? They'll click into it, and then on the left-hand side, you can see some menus here. So so we covered creating a group, now adding members, right? So to add members, just go to members here and add new. And then I'm just gonna use this test account that I created. Call it Smith and Company. So when you add a member, click on save, you'll see that member successfully added and invitation sent out. And then you can, so this sends out an invitation to David Smith to his email saying that you have been invited to ChamberForge by Song Bay. Click here to create an account. So when David Smith creates an account and logs into the ChamberForge, he'll see this group on the very first page. And now David Smith can access all this information. The email will also include a link to download a mobile app that David Smith can install on his phone. So as you add more members, 10 members or 20 members, invitations will be sent out. And if you want to see if they have accepted invitation or not, you can go to here, invitations, and then see the status of this invitation is pending. If David Smith has accepted the invitation and created an account, the status will show accepted. So here you can delete the invitation, or after a week or so, if this shows still pending, you can send a reminder email by clicking this resend. So that's how you add members. Now, sometimes some groups also want to track attendances. I've seen some groups where they enforce a rule where you cannot miss more than 2 meetings per quarter or 3 meetings per quarter. This is one of the ways to make sure that everyone's committed to the group and holding everyone accountable to the collective success of the lead sharing group. Now, when the attendance is tracked after 3 months or 6 months, you can simply pull up the attendance report and show everyone, hey, this is what the attendance has been like. Maybe you can say we need to improve our attendance, or you can do a lot of things with the data collected here. So to check attendance, you just come to the meetings, right? So let's say that there's a meeting next week on Thursday, 19th. Meeting notes, you can just leave this empty, click on save. So you see that this meeting entry has been created. So you can do this after the meeting. Right? So after the meeting is held, you can come in here and then create a meeting, or you can go ahead and create meetings for future. Let's say that there's a meeting in August 2nd. 16th. Now, if you create meetings for the future, what members can do is, as members are going out there and meeting their contacts, meeting their attend the networking events and invite guests to their lead sharing groups, they can choose one of these meetings and then invite guests to this meeting on this date. What this will do, I mean, we don't have this feature at the moment, but we're working on it. What this will do is send a reminder email to the guest, like a day before the meeting, with the details about the meeting location and meeting times and things like that. So let's say that, there was a meeting today, right, on the 12th. Actually, I'm going to add myself in here just so that we can show more than one person in the group. So when I added myself in here, because I already have an account on ChamberForge, there's an icon next to my name. So this quickly shows the group leader who's created an account or who still hasn't created an account, right? So going back to the meetings, let's say there was a meeting this morning. I'll come in here and then click on Update Attendance. And let's say that David and Song came to the meeting. Now, if there are 20 or 30 people, you can just click this button here to check everyone, and then click Submit. Now, if I pull up this meeting, under the Attendance tab, it shows that David and Sung Bae were at the meeting. Right. Now, let's say that a guest came to the meeting who's not a member of the group. You can also add the guest information here. Say Katie Johnson. You can add phone number or industry information of this person, who has invited this guest. Let's say I invited her, and then the address information, and click on Save, and it says Guest Saved. Now when I close this, Katie Johnson's information is stored here. So that's how you manage attendance. Sometimes David Smith can't come to the meeting, and some groups require that if you cannot come to the meeting, you must send a replacement, someone else. If that's the case, you can just say David Smith couldn't come to the meeting, or didn't come to the meeting, but there was a substitute. So here, substitute is so this is let's see, substitute. Well, it's supposed to show the guest information in here, and then you can select the guest information. For some reason, I can't see that the Katie's information. We can go ahead and fix that. So you can track substitutes.
Okay.
So that was the managing the attendance, adding guest. So we added a guest directly from this meeting, July 12th meeting. But you can also come to this guest menu down here, and then add a guest this way. When you add a guest through this way, meeting invited to, you can select which meeting this guest is invited to. So this is for the purpose of sending the emails for the CRM purpose, engagement, communications. And also, if you have 10 or 20 guests here, you can just select all of them and send an email to all the guests, thanking them, for coming to the meeting, or if you want to quickly send out an email to all the guests that are not members yet, maybe there's an event next month, happy hour from this group. You can invite all the guests from here. So that's adding guests. Now move on to tracking referrals and one-to-ones. So really, this is the kind of like the core of the ChamberForge, tracking referrals and tracking one-on-ones. So one-to-one is fairly simple. Let's say that Song Bae and David Smith had a one-to-one meeting a few days ago. Say that the date on Tuesday, David Smith and Song Bae had a meeting. Right, you click on save. So now this has been recorded here. So this information, the group leader can put this information in here, but also David Smith and Song Bae, if they can also log into the ChamberForge and create it just like this, or they can use the mobile app installed on their phone and edit from there. It takes like just 5 or 10 seconds to edit information from the mobile app. So this is really all there is for the one-to-ones at the moment. It is very simple, but as a group leader, you can come in here and see who's having one-to-ones and who's not having one-to-ones, and maybe you can encourage them to have one-to-one meetings. And now, moving on to the referrals. So let's say that David Smith gave a referral to me. Again, just like one-to-ones, if David Smith hasn't entered this information into the system, the group leader can also come in here and then create this information. All right, David Smith. From David Smith to Song Bae. Now this is if this referral was reported at a particular meeting and you want to associate this referral to a particular meeting, you can do that. So if I say at today's meeting, let's say David Smith and Song Bae reported that David gave a referral to Song Bae, then you can choose this meeting. But this is optional information. You can leave it blank. But if you set the date on here and click on save and then go to meetings, that information will show up in this under this meeting. So it's like a two-way, data entry. You can track it here, but if you want to see all the referrals that were reported at a particular on a meeting, you can also see that here. Right.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Do you run into a lot of duplications? So say each of them went in and reported that one-on-one or the referral. Will it recognize that's a duplicate, or will it report both?
At the moment, we don't have a mechanism to detect duplicates yet, but it is something that the other chambers have brought up, and we're working on it. So one way that we're working on it is like looking at the dates. If dates are within like a week, within the week, for both duplicates, we'll say, hey, is this a duplicate? So that before the second entry is added, the person will see that message saying that this may be a duplicate, and then he or she can stop entering the information.
Gotcha.
Mm. So this referral entry has been created, and now let's say that this turned into business for me, right? So there are two ways to report it. I can report it from the mobile app, which is very simple to do, or I can also come in here and go to business closed and create an entry here. So I'll click on add new. So the referral, so if there are like 10 or 20 different referrals, you'll see them in this drop-down list. So you choose the referral that you want to change the status to business closed, right? And amount, which is optional. I'll say this was worth $750. Also, if you want to track this business closed to a particular meeting, you can also associate to a meeting here. Now, in the description, this is also optional, so click on Save. And now this information is stored. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I wish I had a mobile app loaded here, so I could quickly show you how that works in the mobile. But yes, that's how you add referrals and one-to-ones. And next, I'll cover the reports. Because I don't have data in here, let me pull up more. Let's see, some other group here. So this group has more, data in here, one-to-ones and referrals, some business close. So if you go to reports, you can choose the date range, last 30 days this month, last month this year, last year. So I'm just going to choose, or we can choose custom range. Choose any specific dates. So I'm going to choose this year, and then show me all the members' reports. So this shows all the members in this group, how many referrals they generated in this time period, how many guests they invited, how many one-to-ones they had, and then how many times they have reported business closed. So you can see this at the member level. You can easily, if you have a very active group, there can be a lot of information in here, so you can easily filter out if you just want to see like the referrals. And then this is just a table that shows all the numbers. You can sort it based on how many times by the summary. So this column shows referrals, guests, one-to-ones, and business closed. So this is members report. Now the referrals report. This shows all the referrals that the members gave to each other for this time period. And then it also shows the status as well. So again, if you select like a 1-year period or 6-month period for a very active group, this can be a long list, and you can quickly see what the status was for each referral, whether it's closed or lost. You can also see the date. You can also export this to PDF if you want to share this information with the group. Right. You can export to PDF all other reports as well. And then just activity reports just shows the from this time period without providing members information, how the group has been in terms of referrals, guests, one-to-ones, and business closed over a period of time. So again, if you have a lot of data in here, and you can just pull up, let's say 2017, you can kind of see what the activity has been like for this group. And then the attendance report. This shows for this time period, shows members that have attended the meetings. So P means that present to the meeting. If there was a substitute, a member couldn't make it, it's going to show S. And then here in the last column, it show you the percentage of the attendance for each member. You can also export this to PDF and then just send it to everyone in the group, so everyone in the group knows that, or maybe I need to increase my attendance rate, or kind of find areas for improvement within the group. So I think that kind of covered everything. Are there any questions?
No, I think we're good. Very thorough. Very thorough. I really like the simplicity, yet it tracks everything that we need. And I love that the members can also input the data so that it's not solely on one person. It's kind of up to them to be responsible to input their data. So I like that too.
Yes. So really, this takes a lot of burden off of the group leader as well as the chamber staff, in terms of tracking all the information. And
can you give me?
Yep.
You can just log in again.
Did you have another question?
No,
yeah, we were just talking about how it was great that both the chamber staff could log in and the lead and find the reports and everything. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because since we kind of finished early, I want to show you, if you are interested, the mobile app as well.
Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to launch this mobile app emulator on my phone, on my computer. Just take a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, so this is the mobile app. This is the Android version of the mobile app, but for the iPhone, it looks very similar with just minor differences here and there. And when you log into the app, you can see all the groups that you belong to. So here's the group that I just created a few minutes ago, Leisure and Group 3. You can go in there and look at members of this group. And then I can look up members' information. Let me pull up, let me see, this group here. I have more members here in this group. So I can always reach out to members or guests at any time because all the information is stored in here. So these are the guests, the real guest information for this group. Oops. What happened? Okay, and then if I want to report a referral, for example, I'll click into the group and then just click on here, report referral. Let's say that I gave a referral to Chris Hertz. And I gave it, let's say, yesterday. Any additional information? You can add lead information. Jessica Jones at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can include phone number if you want to. If I want to store all the information in here, email or any information, and just click on submit. And it says referral successfully reported. Now if I go to referral section, so here on the referrals, there are two tabs. The first tab is the referrals that I gave to the group. So here's the one that I just created. The second tab is the referrals that I received from the group. And let's say that I received a referral from Michael, right? So initially when I received the referral, it will show active. And let's say that I worked on this referral for a couple of weeks, and then this turned into business for me. So I'll just come in here and then say report business one. Kind of like the same process, add any amount information, date that this referral turned into business, and then click submit. And then if you go back to the referral received, you can see that this one referral from Michael has turned into business one. So now if you have like a 10, 20 referrals, given to the group or received from the group, you can quickly come in here and then see the different status. And when I change the status of this referral from active to business one, Michael will get an email and a notification on his phone saying that, oh, the referral that you gave to Song last month has successfully turned into business. So it keeps the people who gave referrals in the loop as to what the status is. So if there are many referrals that you're giving to one another, this tool can be helpful in tracking, status of those referrals.
Can I ask you a quick question on the referrals?
Sure.
Is there a way, sometimes you may get a referral and it's just not going to close. There's no, you don't have what they need or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to change it to just kind of a dead status so it's not always sitting out there active?
You mean in addition to business lost or business won, you like to see another step?
I didn't see the business lost.
Oh, okay. So let's say, I'll show you. Say that Chris gave me a referral. So here's the one that I just created. So let's say after a month, I lost this referral. So you can click here, report business lost or referral lost. And then it will say lost for this referral.
Lost. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would probably be helpful if they put a comment in there as to why it was lost. Okay, I didn't see that before.
Yep.
That's perfect.
And also, sometimes, groups members would like to send a quick email to everyone in the group. You can do that from the app as well. So send the group email. And, as a group leader, if, let's say, the meeting tomorrow is canceled or rescheduled, you can just quickly send out from the mobile app instead of going through, your email list and then adding email one by one.
Great.
Let's see. And then files. So if I upload files here to the website, it will show up here. So anything like if let's say you have you had a 5 guest member come to the meeting, and then maybe you scan all their business card into a PDF, and then you can upload it here and then make that information available to all the members in the group. So yeah, that's pretty much a quick, 5-minute overview of the mobile app.
Great.
Yep. Are there any other questions?